How's it? Welcome back. So I've been messing around with binaural beats more the last couple of nights, and I did manage to get my hands on some high quality versions of Robert Monroe's Gateway tapes. Like, I'm not sure if I have all of his stuff, but I have way more than what I saw on Spotify. I got like 12 different sessions. Each of them seems to be about 30 minutes or so, so maybe like 6 hours or so worth of his stuff. Granted, I've only listened to one of them. I did the same like introductory 30-ish minute block that I did off Spotify a few nights ago. And I will say the sound quality on the ones I downloaded off the internet are like way to hell better than whatever they got going on Spotify. At least this time when, he's saying you should hear me in your right ear only. I only hear him in my right ear, where in Spotify, it was mostly in my right ear, but I could still hear some bleed over into the left, where, this one I got now is definitely far better than that. With that said, though, I still kind of stick by what I said in the previous video, kind of talking about these, where I've been messing around with binaural beats for many years by this point, and I still don't see that much of a difference between binaural beats versus like, just some general relaxing nature sounds or just some generic relaxing meditation music that's not linked up to any specific sound frequency. Like, to me, they both kind of get me into that same zone where I do like to use them. It does help me get to a deep meditative state, seemingly a bit easier, but I still don't see that much of a difference with it being binaural beats or not. So with that said, I definitely like the sound quality of it better off of these higher quality versions that I got, but it still didn't seem to, in the end, to get me to any deeper of a meditative state than I was doing it off of the poorer sound quality versions that they have on Spotify. Granted, I do want to check out a lot of his other stuff, like, one of them is labeled remote viewing, and I've always been pretty interested in remote viewing. I don't know much about it, but I was listening to this podcast recently from Third Eye Drops right here. He was interviewing this guy who was like doing this whole experiment thing with remote viewing. So I definitely want to give it a try. I'm not exactly sure how you do it, but if like part of doing this whole thing is getting to a relaxed state of mind and letting like thoughts and images just kind of flow by your mind, well, I'm very good at that shit. So if that's like an integral part of it, then I should be pretty naturally good at doing that whole thing. So in the future, maybe the near future, I want to go ahead and kind of do a little experiment with that. Of course, I'll go ahead and sample out Robert Monroe's Gateway session on that. But then also, because I did finally get my hands on that, I wanted to bust out one of my mind machines again, where I haven't used these things in a long time, so I was happy to see. I mostly wanted to test it out to make sure it still works, and it does. So I was doing a session with that. And personally, I still kind of like those more. Like, I do appreciate the light that's flashing in your face. If you want to see what it looks like, basically will look something like that, right? Got to hold in the cord because the cord always falls out. But I do appreciate that. Now, I think once you kind of get into the swing of things and you know how to, navigate these spaces while you're using binaural beats or, these mind machines with the flashing lights in your eyes, I'm not sure how much the flashing lights actually help in the end once you kind of know what you're doing. But I have found that they did seem to be very useful because I've busted this out for a lot of my different friends and things. And I think they're very good for people starting out, mostly because it gives you a very clear object of attention as you're lying down underneath it, watching these things flash behind your closed eyes. It gives you a very obvious point of attention to lock your awareness to, and basically wait to see when these images and stuff start to flow behind your closed eyes. So I do think they can be useful. And the sound quality on these is, of course, pretty damn good. I have a couple versions of it. So like this one was like $1,000 or so back when I got it a long time ago. If someone was going to get some of their own, though, I probably would go with the Casino just because it's a lot cheaper. This one was, at least when I got it back in the day, was a few $100. You can tell this is super old because it still has like that really crappy old style USB charging thing that like I don't even have these cords anymore. I keep one around literally just for this, basically. And I think I used to, well, let me think, I got rid of my PS3. I used to keep them around for my PS3 to charge that too, but that shit is old and it died. I got rid of it. So I really only have one of those old cords just for that nowadays. But I would say probably go with the Casino. It's way cheaper. One thing that's nice about these different light machines where like the Enkidu is you can lie underneath it and it will flash on you, where at the Casino you got to wear these glasses that it can just be a little bit uncomfortable. One thing that has been really nice though with these Gateway tapes versus using the My Machine is that for this, there's no Bluetooth, so you have to like hook up a cord to it, and then you have, these earmuffs on your head. I found them to be kind of uncomfortable and hot, where it was really nice to be able to do the Gateway tapes using my AirPods and, putting the noise canceling on. So that part is super convenient. But yeah, aside from that, we'll see how it goes. You know, I'll keep testing them out. I'm glad I got my hands on some higher quality versions of these gateway tapes. I'll definitely be giving out that that remote view you want to try, and I'll be reporting back as I work my way through it. With this said, that'll wrap it up. Till the next video, keep your meditation practices legit.